Good evening, friends. Stephen Ben-Nun here with Israeli News Live, and the situation in Washington right now over Taiwan has taken a turn for the worse. I saw this on Fox News. China Xi is a genuine threat to Taiwan, and Team Biden needs to wake up. I want to play this video clip here for you real quick that Fox put together, and then I want to comment on it, tell you a little bit more about this, what they're not telling you.
Four-star General Jack Keane. General, this administration and this Democratic speaker are not on the same page. How does that make us look?
Well, I think right from the beginning, the reason why this thing got spun up so much, obviously there was a leak that Pelosi was going to visit Taiwan, and that leak came from this administration, somebody who was obviously opposed to it. But really what happened, it spun the crisis, is when the president made the offhand remark in response to a question walking out of the room where he said that, well, the Pentagon doesn't favor it, or the United States military doesn't favor it. That wasn't a completely true statement. They just provided some of the risks that were going on. They didn't say the visit shouldn't take place, but that spun up the PRC entire propaganda effort as a result of it. Why? Because they saw an opportunity here, a division in the United States government, and an opportunity possibly that they could get the United States to stand down the visit, and that would give them a huge propaganda victory. So that's really what started this crisis and heated it up so much.
So right now we understand Bloomberg reporting that the State Department and White House is
All right, there. I wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of that information there so you were aware of what's going on, at least from Fox News' report. But the truth of the matter is a lot deeper than that. This was a complete setup. It was completely set up, and it was staged from the beginning. And the mere fact that they say that the Pentagon, or the President Biden says the Pentagon was not in favor of it, was just, well, it was a blunder of words for him to say that, because he was on board with this. Pelosi going to Taiwan, and then the president trying to act as if, that part of our government's not in agreement with the part of the government I'm with here. And therefore, she had no business going over there, but she did it on her own initiative. Totally false. Totally false. It was staged from the beginning, and as it was shared with me, is that it was definitely a situation where the Biden administration kind of underplayed this, thinking that they would pull off some kind of little stunt there with China, as if China doesn't know that Biden is the commander-in-chief. If the Pentagon was not in favor of Pelosi going, she wouldn't go, and not only would she not go, but we wouldn't be having an entire fleet of ships sent over there to protect her while she's there. Well, this definitely angered China, angered them into a very serious situation. And then the next thing I know, yesterday I was getting a message that Taiwan has planned to take down Taiwan as early as November 2022. This year, this November. They are moving their deadline up for taking down Taiwan this year. Now, oddly enough, 2 days before that, I had just gotten the message that the Biden administration had taken a different stance on Taiwan. Seems to be that some there in the administration are saying that not to defend Taiwan would put the U.S. economy at such a dire strait, and that would plummet us into a full-blown depression. So therefore, we don't have much of any choice but to protect Taiwan, even though we spent the last year downsizing our presence on Taiwan, and even the commander of the Pacific Fleet said that he would not allow Taiwan to become another Afghanistan. So already had been moving assets out of Taiwan, going to stand down, allow the Chinese to take it, and now suddenly the administration making a change saying that we're going to have to protect Taiwan at all cost. Well, then the Pelosi stunt comes along. Biden plays, typical dementia there, in order to be able to get the people, or hopefully think that the Chinese buys into the story that he's really not on board with Pelosi visiting over there in the first place. Then the situation was shared with me. It was accelerated because of the fallout from Pelosi's stunt. So the Chinese are saying they are straight up telling us they are reprocessing of our own actions, and that they are jumping mad over this. And they have put us on notice that we best choose our steps very carefully from here on out. That's what the Chinese are telling the United States. Now, those of you that remember a little while back, I don't know, maybe 6-7 months ago, maybe even 8 months ago, I shared with you a video about the technology that the Pentagon was discussing about the Navy of the Chinese and the Russian-Chinese military technology. You know, we talk about, and we hear a lot in Russian media, especially Putin putting out the videos about the supersonic or hypersonic missiles that they have, including nuclear capable. But as it's been shared with me, Russia never developed that on their own. They got all that technology from China. So China is the real mastermind behind this technology of supersonic warheads, things of that nature there. But the Chinese keep it very secretive. Yet during a Pentagon briefing there, they were sharing there with the Joint Chiefs of Staff the technology that China has in their naval arsenal. Although they may not have anywhere near the ships that we do, their technology is far more advanced than ours. And the way they put it then was that if we went to war with China, it would be like battling the United States itself in a battle. This is not a very good thing. You know, but listen, remember, don't forget, I also did the video, well over a year ago when I was talking about the Chinese and the port of Haifa and how they were dictating to the United States the way we would come and port there when they'd gotten the contract without any bidding whatsoever by the Israeli government, just got the restructuring of the port of Haifa hands down. Then Ashkelon, a port for Ashkelon came along, and if it hadn't have been that we put up a lot of fuss over that, the Israelis would have let them have that one as well. And then, of course, I get the famous email from Israel that tells me, stop picking on China. They're going to be the next world's superpower. And we will be using them from here on out, for we're done with America. So it shouldn't be a bit surprising at all for us, should it? That we are in the straits that we are in now. And not only that, Israel will be calling the shots, for they will be the head of the New World Order. So don't think if we end up in a battle against China that it's just the United States and China battling it out. There is definitely a little state just south of Lebanon that's calling the shots in this war. And there happens to be a very strong political presence inside of China. Just remember that, right? Let me share that with you guys again there. Maybe it would do you some good just to know about this. And perhaps the images could say 1,000 words, right? Wow, that's an interesting article just in itself. 2018, right? Inside China's bizarre obsession with Jews. How Jewish became Chinese shorthand for success. That ought to be an interesting article for us to read. But the Chabad organization and the power that they wield in China, you could only imagine. And I'm looking here to see if I can catch some images there. I know that we have a very powerful presence of that organization in China. And I just didn't take the time to put all that together. I should have. But that's how China ended up with communism, by the way. I won't go into all the details behind that as of right now. Let's just see if it'll bring up the proper images that I'm looking for here to catch this here. But the organization has grown tremendously in Israel. And but anyway, we'll go into that a little bit later. I'll try to do a special broadcast on that and the control that they have, the influence that they have there. Henry Kissinger, as you can see right there, behind the rise of the power of Mao Zedong in China. Well, that ought to be an interesting read as well, right? Something I didn't even catch there before. Oh, wow. I guess they don't want nobody knowing about that article, so we'll have to figure out a way to see that. Wow. Anyway, I'm Steve Benoon. You're watching Israeli News Live, but the picture is worth 1,000 words, no doubt. Good afternoon.